Hey everyone, today I would like to talk about travel when you have chemical sensitivities. So, most of this is pre-pandemic. I honestly have left the house maybe once in the last year. So, my knowledge of what the current situation is a little lacking. But this should be helpful for when things settle down a bit, or the other areas in which you need for travel. Do check restrictions with airlines and airports and borders and where you're traveling to, your local restrictions. If you can, travel by vehicle, not air, but I know that's not always possible. So, let's get into it. I want to start by saying, if you can avoid travel, please avoid travel, because traveling with chemical sensitivities is incredibly difficult unless you're pretty much hauling your house with you. And we'll get into doing that later, not in this video. So, sometimes you do just have to travel, whether it's for work or you need that mental break. You probably will still get sick, but we can try to minimize that. First topic, finding a place to stay. Yeah, this is practically impossible. You're never gonna find a place that's perfect, that's not gonna make you sick at all. There's no one out there, and I mean no one, that cares as much about your health and what you can tolerate as you. So, you need to take that into consideration, and quite honestly, anyone who doesn't live with this condition cannot even comprehend it. And even those with the mild version can't comprehend what it's like to be on the disabled end of the scale. So, you can minimize the impact, but you're not going to completely remove it. There's no point in stressing though. Just understand that it's not going to be perfect. I have no personal experience with Airbnb, but I've heard from some people that they have had good experiences, and some people have had horrible experiences. However, you do need to put a lot of effort into contacting the host, discussing your needs, finding out exactly what products they use in the household, what they've used over the years. Pretty much constantly asking for things to be just cleaned in water, vinegar if you can tolerate it, or alcohol if you can tolerate it before you arrive. A lot of hosts aren't going to want to put in the effort. There are a few out there that might be able to, but I mean, if you don't ask, you'll never know. Hotels. So, my last vacation was a couple years ago, and it went horrible. But there's a few things you can do if you're staying in a hotel to make it a little better. If you can, find a smaller hotel. Smaller hotels mean less guests. Less guests means less products. So smaller is better. If you can, find one where the access to the rooms is from outside. So in warmer climates, this is probably closer to the standard, but up north here, there aren't any. So you'll have to look around and check, because hallways and the lobby are usually ambient scented. So if you can access your room without going through the lobby or the hallway, it's going to be a lot easier on you. Don't get a place with a pool, if possible. Stay far away from the pool. Pools are not good. Even the saltwater ones, just don't. No matter where you stay, you must contact the facility, explain your needs, ask about accommodation, ask how far they're willing to accommodate you. Make sure you ask about specifics. Don't send an email just expecting them to do it. And don't expect them to remember. Contact them like 2 days before, a day before, when you're leaving. If you're a couple hours away, you can contact them, remind them. Air travel. Contact the airlines. Contact the airport. Make sure everything's good. If you have any transfer, contact every single airline and every single airport. I know that's a lot of work, and it really sucks that we have to do this, but do it. Because you don't want to be tackled by security. Trust me. I got pulled aside because I didn't contact Ottawa Airport one time. And they panicked because I was wearing a gas mask. So, contact the airlines, contact the airport, explain your condition, explain that you need fragrance free. Ask if there's any washrooms. Chances are there won't be any washrooms without fragrance, but if we don't ask, they won't know that that's needed. If you're going through the border asking how to bypass duty-free, chances again are you will not be able to, but at least put it out there that we need to avoid the fragrances in the duty-free section, because holy hell are they strong. Again, if we ask for nothing, we're never going to get anything, so be the squeaky wheel. I know it's hard, but we have to. If you're traveling internationally, check if your flight, if your destination is one of the ones that requires pesticide spraying. It changes frequently, so make sure you check what the regulations are. With the pandemic, lots of airlines and stuff are fogging, so keep that in mind. Disinfectants are being handed out, everything's being wiped. So you might want to wear really gross clothes that you can just put in a bag and throw outside for your trip. Airlines have also started adding signature scents, so please, when you contact the airline, ask. And if you have to take that airline and they use signature scents, see if you can convince them to just not do it for that one flight. I know that's not gonna keep everything that's already been absorbed into the plane from bothering you, but at least you won't be getting new stuff on you. Customs. Customs is tricky. Customs does not like not being able to see your face. In fact, they have to see your face. So you will have to remove your mask. Don't be offended. Don't get upset with them. You're gonna have to do it. My last vacation, which was pre-pandemic, several years ago actually, I explained to them why I was wearing a mask, and I asked them if I could just do a take it off, flip it up, put it back down, pretty quick thing, and the person I was talking to was okay with that. So, maybe hold your breath and do a quick flip, but yeah, they might also be very hesitant to let someone with your condition into their country. I think we talked to customs for like an hour, when usually it's like, look at your passport, look at you, how long are you staying, business, pleasure, bringing anything in, yes, no, okay, stamp, go. Yeah, we spent a lot of time talking to the customs people. Be patient, be polite, because they could just turn you around and send you away. Get a doctor's note. Get a doctor's note saying you require a respirator if that's what you need to wear. Get a doctor's note with all the accommodations, even for the hotel if you feel it's necessary, because people tend not to believe this condition because it's outside of normal experience. And they're more likely to believe a medical professional. So if you could get that doctor's note, that'll help especially with customs or the airline or security at the airports. I have a video from several years ago about masks, and I highly suggest you watch it or, do your own research. But a respirator with multi-gas filters is probably your best bet, especially for the airport, the traveling. They're very hard to sleep in though. It is kind of pricey, but it's worth the cost to allow you to last longer before you crash. I would also take extra set of filters. If you think you're going to need 2 sets of filters, take 3. You don't want to be in a situation where you don't have the filters you need. I get that some people are hesitant with respirators, but I actually find I get less stares wearing the respirator than I did with the small mask. Of course, this is all pre-pandemic. The respirator is better protection, but it does have an exhalation valve, and at least where I am, they are still banned. So you might have to have your respirator with the fabric mask over top of the exhalation valve and explain that you need the gas mask for this, but you're filtering the exhalation with your cloth mask. So, with the removal of mask mandates in some places, you could probably wear your respirator with no issues again. But keep in mind that you might need a fabric mask over top for places where they're still banned. Expect to get sick. Don't stress about it though. Like, you're gonna do your best to minimize exposures and take precautions. But there's gonna be unavoidable ones. But don't stress, because stress makes everything worse. You've done the best you can. Go enjoy yourself. Try not to stress. Minimize that stress as much as possible, or you're just going to make yourself sicker. A lot of people make themselves sick in anticipation of travel because they know it's going to be horrible. Well, maybe not horrible, but very difficult. Try not to do that. You're going to go have fun. You're going to get a little sick. In my case, I would get really sick, but try not to think about that. This falls into the what you're supposed to take, or what you can take to help minimize exposures. Take your own sheets and towels, your own toiletries, your own pretty much everything. If you have space, just take as much as you can. Pay for that second bag on the airline. If you're going for an extended period, you're gonna have to do laundry, because you can't take sheets, towels, blankets, air purifier, whatever else you need, and still have space for like 3 weeks worth of clothing in your bag. So, be prepared to do laundry in the tub or the sink, because laundry facilities are just not accessible. Don't even try. You're just going to make yourself sick and probably have to throw out all your clothing. Take an air purifier. Now, it might be one of those small Honeywell Tower itty bitty HEPA filter with a tiny bit of carbon, but quite honestly, that's better than nothing, and you probably aren't going to be able to take the bigger ones. Again, you're not going to have space, and 20 pounds of carbon is 20 out of your 50 pounds of allowed weight in your bag. Is it still 50? I don't even know. But anyways, be flexible, have fun. Know there's going to be setbacks, but don't stress about it. Just do your due diligence. I can't say it'll all be okay, but you'll most likely survive it. Thanks for watching. Bye.